Well, let's kick off a perfect weekend by going back to the lake. You know, according to legend, Big Paul Bunyan's footprint actually created Lake Bemidji.
It's one of the state's most popular recreational destinations, and Liz and Amelia are there, and I hear you had a chance to get out on the water today.
We did. Hi, you guys. Yeah, welcome back to Lake Bemidji, where the Dragon Boat Festival here is well underway.
Yeah, and while teams were out on the lake today practicing, putting in some practice runs, we were across the lake with a naturalist, learning a little bit about his history, and that naturalist is from Lake Bemidji State Park.
We're going to take a short tour along the north shore of the lake where the park is. This is the northernmost point on the Mississippi River.
How big is the lake?
The lake is 5.5 miles north to south, 16 miles around the lake. Lake Bemidji gets its name from an Ojibwe word, Bemidji-gumag. And what it refers to is the Mississippi River comes in at the southwest end, and it leaves here on the east side. And it cuts across it on an angle. Literally, the Ojibwe interpreted it as on an angle or sideways. At one time, this was the center of logging that occurred in the Midwest. This is the south end, and this would have been the piles of lumber that had been milled.
Why do you think that's so important, John? I think a lot of us think of the lake as, a place to boat or fish, but to learn its history and to know what went on the water here.
We're a state that exports water. We try and get that across to kids, that the lake is habitat. It's also a resource that Minnesota has a lot of, but still is threatened in many ways. We get the clean water. We're fortunate at that end, and we can keep it that way if we understand about the lakes.
It was really very interesting, and the wonderful fact about Bemidji, and we found out today that a lot of these businesses, they're preserving the history. They've turned these buildings into businesses, a lot of them that had been abandoned. And in fact, we stopped at one today, Lucky Dogs.
Yeah, great hot dog place. You can tell that that's so important to connect to their past. But this is a local teacher who retired. She thought she'd maybe sell 50 hot dogs a day, if that, and now they're selling 600 a day. So it's great to see that business is going so well.
Yeah, I would call them gourmet hot dogs.
They were delicious, yes.
Yeah, so all in all, we've just had a fantastic time up here. Frank, I know that you and Chris came up here in the winter, so this is a great place to come to visit. And I know people who maybe haven't been here in about 2 years or so, you should come back up again, because I think a lot of things have changed and they continue to change.
Worth the trip.
Yeah, Bemidji's doing well, which is great. I don't know, that was a fantastic tour. Do they do a lot of logging in and around that area still?
No, they don't. You know what happened? That lumberyard, did you hear him? I can't remember if it was in the story or not, but he said that it had burned down, and they decided that they did not have enough timber, and they didn't have enough business to keep going. Our hotel is actually in that area where the lumberyard was.
And that fire was back in 1920, and he said it really kind of devastated the area, but obviously they have a lot going on. They were able to rebuild.
Good for them.
Yeah.
All right, well, safe travels home, ladies. Nice to see you. Thanks for the great tour of Bemidji the last few days.